On to Newcastle, Pete. Obviously, they had that massive win over Arsenal in the semifinal yesterday of the Carabao Cup. But the Newcastle board denied Eddie Howe of bringing in any new players, even after selling Lloyd Kelly, who was all pure profit, Miguel Almiron for a decent fee back to the MLS. Are they just saving PSR headroom for the Isak contract this summer, making sure they can keep hold of him?
Yeah, obviously, I think it was a long-term planning rather than short-term thinking with Newcastle's transfer dealings in that January transfer window. We know that obviously Newcastle have been hamstrung by the PSR and FFP over the last three transfer windows. I think that's three successive transfer windows now without a big money signing. I think they were desperate to avoid a repeat of what happened in the last summer when they had to sell Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minta uh, before June 30th when their accounts were filed. So they were two big losses to Newcastle. Two young players who have really impressed at Nottingham Forest and Brighton this season. So two big misses for Eddie Howe's squad when he did when they were forced to sell them two players because he didn't want to sell them, but because of PSR and FFP they had to do that. So that's why there was no incomings at Newcastle in the January window. It was a case of outgoings. Look, we talked about Miguel Almiron. We fully expected him to move on. He got his move back to MLS with Atlanta. That was the one that we tipped up that he would be a definite departure from Newcastle in the window. They got a decent fee for him as well, around between £9 and £11 million. Lloyd Kelly was a bit of a strange one. I don't think anybody fully expected that deal to happen where he would move to Juventus on loan with an obligation, but it makes good business sense for Newcastle because they signed him on a free transfer from Bournemouth in the summer, and they'll be getting £20 million for him from Juventus in the summer. So it'll obviously give potential for Newcastle to spend a bit more in the summer so that they're not worried about PSR and FFP. And as you said, it will also allow them maybe to loosen the purse strings in their bid to try and persuade Alexander Isak to sign a new contract in the summer. That would be a brilliant bit of business by Newcastle if they can tie him down to a new deal because again he showed against Arsenal the other night in the Cup what a top performer he is. I'm sure there'll be a number of clubs who'll be looking at him this summer as clubs go searching for number nines, but if Newcastle sort of have now their finances in order to allow them to keep Alexander Isak, I think the short-term pain of not making any signs in January will be worth it by keeping Isak and also allowing Eddie Howe maybe more manoeuvrability in the upcoming summer window.